Today I'm going to be reacting to this video. I think he's going to be talking about how any business can create securities going forward if Trump allows it.
I've talked to many founders over the past few years, and they've told me repeatedly that the number one thing they need from Washington is regulatory clarity. They just want to know what the rules of the road are so they can abide by them.
That was White House crypto czar David Sachs at a news conference yesterday. During President Trump's first week back in office, he issued a goal of proposing a regulatory framework for the operation of digital assets in the United States. Joining us right now on the future of crypto in the U.S., as well as AI, is Steve Jang. He is Kindred Ventures founder and managing partner. And Steve, what can you tell us so far about what you've seen from this new administration, what you like, and if there's anything that you think that you'd like to see more of?
Well, one thing you have to give them, and good to see you, Becky. Thanks for having me back on. Well, one thing that you have to give them is that they're fast. They're rolling these out in a matter of days. These proclamations and a lot of the EOs that you're seeing. I think one of the things that we're looking forward to with David Sachs in the administration as the AI cryptos is that the low-hanging fruit, Bitcoin, stable coins, smart contract platforms, all of that, regulatory uncertainty will be settled down. I think it's been a shame that crypto projects have been offshoring outside of the U.S. to avoid regulation and a lot of the consternation that comes from it. I think a few of the things that sit on the outskirts of that, we'll have to see. I think the SEC and the administration still want to be protective over consumer investors, and so we'll see. I think a steady balance there. But
I'll tell you right away, when I first started Stack.AI, lawyers just told me, don't do this here. Just it's not worth being in the United States to do crypto projects. So, it sucked, but I stayed on it, and I just tried to, talk to as many lawyers as possible and make sure I was doing things the right way. But yeah, I mean, I was told many times just leave America. And I think a lot of people were told that.
we're seeing Bitcoin, stablecoins, Ethereum, Solana, smart contract platforms that already have a lot of global adoption and a lot of industry adoption. I think those will get a little bit of the red carpet now.
It sounds like the dust still needs to settle in terms of the regulatory changes that are going to take place, but we have seen Bitcoin and other crypto move pretty aggressively ahead of this, anticipating that this relaxation and maybe standardization of regulations would come. Has all of the gain already been built into this, and now we wait and see, or how would you anticipate? Have companies come back to the United States yet?
Yeah, I think I think on the buildup, there were a lot of gains and prices across the board. So I think the market is in sort of a standstill, waiting to see what actually happens concretely. So I think you're seeing that, right? I think from a prediction perspective, understanding not only David's background but where everything is with ETFs and the adoption that we see from firms like BlackRock and Vanguard and other large investment firms and houses, is that I think there are a few things that are going to happen in 2025, to start to happen in 2025 and then continue through this administration. I think the biggest one will be that securities will be tokenized. I think that that's been a long-standing concept that has had.
So if you don't know what that means, it means even stocks like Apple stock, Tesla stock, Nvidia will be on the blockchain. It can be traded and moved around on the blockchain, maybe even borrowed against. And that's awesome. I've been thinking that was going to happen. I thought it makes total sense. Any public company will want that, and any small business that wants to sell shares to other people, it's going to be the easiest way to do that. And we all are going to want this.
Starts and stops. But I think things like stocks, bonds, real estate will actually start to get tokenized as digital assets during this administration. And that's a huge sea change to how things work today and the legitimacy and credibility of digital assets and crypto. I think stocks and bonds and real estate going on chain is probably the biggest thing that we see at Kindred happening in this administration.
Let's talk AI and the changes not only from this administration, but maybe more substantially the changes that we have just post DeepSeek, this latest release. How has that change things in your world? What have you seen from the companies you deal with?
Well, it's really interesting. There was a route for
I think what's going to end up happening is companies that are looking to raise money, they're going to be able to create tokens to sell to their community. Right now, if you wanted to do that, you couldn't do it in the United States. It's called initial coin offering. They have to happen in other countries. So this is why a lot of companies just went across the seas and said, I'll just base my company somewhere else because it's easier for me to raise funds. There is things like equity crowdfunding in the United States, but there's all kind of rules and laws, and it just makes it very hard. But I deal with that kind of stuff too. But I can see a world where you can spin up a company, create an ICO, raise funding, and then build your company in days. And that is where I think crypto is going to take us. And I think in the next 6 months, we should start seeing whether the president is going to put those rules in place or people have to do that in other parts of the world. I hope it's possible to do here because I want to possibly be able to do that with my company and other companies I'm involved in. But we shall see, and we'll stay tuned and like, subscribe because I'll be keeping an eye on this and creating reaction videos to anything I see that is pro this or con this, and to see if it's something you as a business owner or a person watching that may want to invest in early stage companies may want to do.